before it kicks me out for inactivity. There. No longer need to worry about getting automatically logged off. Sure. Those are fun. There, whatever. Anyway. Back to posting links. Yeah, extra spoilers with a side of more with speculation. Yeah, go ahead. Don't complain about spoilers. I already marked it repeatedly. Anyway, oh yeah, and I checked to see if the sound is working. Yeah, I guess that's close enough. All right, so like I said in the title, time to do the mission Axiom again and go for in-depth spoilers and speculation on what it actually means. So, two main questions exist that I don't know what actually are. One.
So I've heard, anyway. Well, I'm afraid I've also come across some starship debris in the system that I have yet to identify. It appears we're arriving. What a surprise! I didn't expect to see you here. I'm responding to a call from
You know
Director
what?
Hugh of the
A
Cooperative
thought
Board.
just occurred to
The
me.
Lucara Concordium has recently chosen me as their ambassador for all
I've been
things
trying to
small.
figure out
He asked me to
what
come in here
happened in
to
this
help with
system,
another
what
incursion.
the combat was, and I think I
I've been
figured
here
out
for
what it
quite a
is.
while now. I'm not sure he's coming. Are you here to help as well?
I had to play this mission several times to figure it out, but I think I figured out what it is. The Harmony is damaged, obviously. The Harmony got damaged because it was fighting Hugh's ship. See, because like one thing we find out in the mission is that Thacine Fey has tricked Hugh and some of the other liberated Borg who were working with him into some sort of a meeting so that she could assimilate them into the Etherians. So it logically follows that where's the ship that Hugh came here on? Hey Pax, how you doing? Yeah, I hope you want spoilers with a side of speculation, because that's what you're getting. So, one thing we don't see here is any ships that are obviously Borg cooperative. We see a whole bunch of Borg debris, but none of it's obviously cooperative, and there's one section of debris where Kumarki notes that someone has done something to the debris to make it difficult to ascertain where the debris came
I
from.
agree. Sensor link is active.
My current
Let's start with
hypothesis
the
is
ship
that's the
debris up
remains of
ahead.
Hugh's ship. Or at least the ship that Hugh came here on. Because obviously Hugh came here
Let's see.
on a ship.
Sensors are picking up microscopic fragments
And-
of advanced regenerative circuitry. Nanites.
And there's 4 different
This
tasks
centralized
here
control system
for
debris.
scanning bits of
This is
debris
most
that are
certainly a full and
Borg.
cooperative probe. Something must
Some
have
of
happened
it
to their
we
fleet.
know
Let's
is
hurry.
control
There's
Borg.
more debris over there.
Some of it. Like this piece here.
Scans indicate
That actually
high
looks like
density alloy
it's cooperative,
and further Borg
honestly.
circuitry
That's the
fragments.
green-blue color that
Disruptive,
cooperative
not
uses, not the bright
regenerative.
blue that the
In any case, this is not cooperative debris. The quantum signature doesn't even match our universe.
Okay, maybe it is supposed to be control Borg. I don't know. This one is definitely control Borg, because when you get here and scan it, it doesn't actually give you a well, it actually attacks you.
Look out! Control Borg sphere incoming!
I wonder if it'll live long enough for the Tricobalt cluster torpedo to explode.
Well done.
I had to stop
That
firing
certainly
at it.
explains the debris' quantum signature. Let's continue. I see a
Huh.
full cluster of debris up ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, in some of the previous story missions, we found out that
Spectral
the
alloy is unlike any
cooperative
debris I've ever
flagship, the
It's
cooperative's
protected
equivalent
by a
of the
quantum
Enterprise
dispersal
F,
field. Someone must come
or
back
the
to scan
Scimitar,
ship's debris
is
signature.
actually the Borg
It's
Type
orbiting.
3 from Descent.
Untraceable.
Yeah, this is what I was saying about the debris thing
up.
being made
Subspace sensors are picking up
untraceable.
residual distortion
It's like
nearby.
someone's like intentionally messing with the
wolf trail.
debris after blowing the ship to debris.
Recalibrating sensor
It's like it
relay
doesn't really make
frequency.
sense for the
Tachyons carry
Etherians
and
to have met with the
subspace
Yasutake
variances suggest
and then
this warp trail
flown
is
to
2
this
hours
system and left the Yasutake behind.
old. There might be
'Cause
survivors.
I don't think that... Actually, you
Oh
know what? It
dear.
is possible that the
Sensor readings
Ethereans
are
were in
fluctuating
fact
erratically
actually
due to
fighting the
magnetic
Control Borg.
properties of dense asteroids nearby.
Yeah, I suppose that is a possibility. Because while we do end up fighting
The
Control
Harmony.
Borg on board the
What's
Harmony,
Fay's ship doing here?
it's possible they aren't there willingly.
Perhaps Tassi. Oh, no response. You're right.
And that they aren't actually doing what they want to do, they're just there.
Huh. the Harmony today.
I was expecting that because I played this mission before. Anyway, though.
The ship is still too close to the asteroids. Just a little further.
So, figuring out what the heck happened here. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet, but, definitely seems probable that it involves some kind of a combat between the Harmony and Borg.
This doesn't look good.
The exact specifics, I'm not certain of, but,
Shields are lowered.
I don't know, it's like, maybe the Yasutake isn't the ship that, Hugh, was on board when he came here, because I guess he wasn't expecting a fight or something, so he didn't come here in the cooperative flagship.
And only just able to. I agree. You read my.
Anyway, though, there's several other things about this that are interesting, and like this scene here, where you see the shadowy figure in the darkness, and then the lights close out. The shadowy figure looks like it's a control Borg, or Borg cooperative person, but you can't really make it out, and you don't go that way. Also,
it looks like the hallway behind us is locked.
What was that? I just had the camera zoom through the wall. So there is actually okay, I guess all the geometry we see in the cutscene is real and exists. It's just hidden on the mini-map. Ha. Interesting. Another interesting thing to ponder is that these things here, we find out, are actually a method of monitoring what goes on inside this room. And thus are essentially the equivalent of security cameras. Which is why they're only in the parts of the ship that are meant to have guests, and not the parts of the ship that are, you know, like actual core systems or...
Maybe this will allow us to...
No, it won't.
No, the security clearance required to bypass this console is too high. We won't be able to go this way. Let's look around. Optimizing tricorders for environmental scanning. What a unique structure. Optimizing
Interesting
for
that
material analysis.
Oh, it actually does have two
Incredible.
different
These
tasks
polygonal
for looking
wall
at the wall.
structures act as data nodes. It appears they store recordings of events that have happened aboard the ship. They contain both
Oh yeah,
visual
Kamaki actually
and
says,
auditory
"Oh,
data.
you think we're being
I
watched?"
suppose we're... In any case, it looks...
I mean, be honest, this is one of those things where it's this sort of super sci-fi race where
well done.
expecting them to
Lead the way.
not pay attention to what I'm doing is harder to sell than
It's very
the idea
empty
that
in
they're
I wonder
watching
where
literally
all the
everything I
crewmen
do.
are.
I do wonder what those things are with the grape-like nodes stuck to them. Those are weird. Wait. Those grape-like nodes are actually like pulsating and shifting sizes and shapes. Huh. Hadn't noticed that before. And I played this mission like 4 times. Yeah. The whole I feel like someone's watching me thing. Yeah, absolutely here. Interesting that the mini game here labels itself translator. Huh. Through Harmony, we are secure.
That's what Tarsine Fay. Could I have a word? I'm feeling a little uneasy. No, not about the possibility of finding a Borg incursion aboard. Interesting. Spot on! I have to say, even though I'm not pleased, if you scan the...
Dun dun dun. Time to Batman things.
Reconfiguring memory array to optimize for hollow emission output. Remodulating tricorders. Integrating environmental data to bypass encryptions.
Waiting for Kumarki to
Done.
shut up.
The system is
wait, what?
active. Shall we give it a try?
In that case, please follow me.
One thing that's interesting is that if you pay close attention to the costumes they have here, the XB outfit that we get isn't the full costume. Oh wait, wrong thing. That's section 3. I need section 2. I'm not entirely sure what the full costume is. See, it's like if you look at this guy's arm here, there's some kind of a bracer on his arm that we don't have. That looks very Borg. It has like a hexagonal pattern to it and some tubes wrapped around it. It's very much a Borg arm attachment. It's just not one that we actually have at the moment, as far as I know.
Director Hugh, it is good
Dun, dun,
to find
dun.
you face to face.
Oh wait, that's right. For the final one, we have to actually be over here.
It worked. It's a start. Place these fragments in the correct order.
Dump, no.
What happened first?
This,
Right.
this,
So
and then
toss
this.
the fragments
And
and
this,
we
and this.
Director Hugh, it is good to finally meet you face to face. I have heard a lot about you and your skill set.
We've just seen Faye.
I have to say, the art that they put into these is
Likewise, I've heard a
impressive.
lot about the Ethereans.
They did like fake depth. That's obviously fake depth because
you say you
it's
need
a
help?
two-dimensional surface.
Yes, a piece of our technology has been found aboard the
Quite
Holodeck.
impressive.
We may be compromised.
Let's see.
Hang on a second. This
You're
is
right.
this is coming across as
This is control
translucent.
board technology, all right.
On this side, it looks opaque. That is actually seriously cool stuff.
This technology looks like a
Wow.
fragment of a larger piece. We'll need to locate the rest of it before I can make an assessment.
Yeah, it's control board junk that she stole from a control board ship.
Diplomatic quarters are available should you wish to stay longer for this assessment. Please excuse the furnishing. Under normal circumstances, we redress our rooms for all our guests.
Well, these circumstances
I'm not sure
are
if this
normal,
tube thing is the same as the one we
but that
actually
won't be
have.
necessary.
It looks like the
We won't be
boxes
staying
are
long.
positioned differently than they are on the player usable costume parts we already have. At least on her arm. The leg one looks the same.
In that case, please follow me.
So yeah, all of this stuff presumably happened before whatever battle it was that left the Harmony
Great
in a
teamwork.
disabled state.
We've pieced it all together. Exactly. So it seems
So,
like the
if you're on a
starship debris we
team and
found
you have
earlier
people
might have
simultaneously
been
start
control boards then.
interacting with the
If
two
we proceed,
door
the door
unlock
behind us will
consoles,
likely lock.
you can
need to
actually
choose a
open
path.
both of them. Okay, that's weird looking. That is a very strange visual effect. It's like it's stripping out the thing that makes it look shiny. Huh. Weird. Anyways, moving on.
Right behind you.
So now to
This
get
looks like a
to
social
the
lounge.
second
I didn't know
ominous
the
whatever.
Ethereans were so willing to host.
Oh, hey,
Very
actually, you know what?
hospitable.
These are actually
Though
moving a little bit, but
deserted
not
for my
much.
taste.
But they are moving more than I was remembering them moving. Although if you just look at them from this angle, they don't seem to move much. But this angle, oy, that's a lot of moving. Let's do that too. So just, oh yeah, this actually does have the spheres shrinking and growing. Although some of them just like vaguely pulse a little bit. Anyways, enough staring at those. Time for the scary part. So, I actually brought slides. Okay, so here we have the whole thing. It says Lucari Fusion Conference. What does that mean by fusion?
Perhaps it's related to stellar.
No, it's not. Days are numbered. The phrase "your days are numbered" usually means that there's a reason to believe that you are going to die, or something bad like that. Oh, hey, you can stand on it. Sweet. So the idea that the Lucari's days are numbered suggests that something is going to happen to make them stop being Lucari. Also, fusion. Yeah, slides time. Okay, and I need to switch to the right slide. So, yeah. Through redacted, we are redacted. Another Aetherian axiom, not one that the Sinfei has been sharing with the general public. You say, how strange. Yeah, later on we find out through fusion we are victorious, and fusion is their method of assimilating people to turn non-Aetherians into Aetherians. As we see here, here's a control Borg that they have captured because they're going to turn him into an Aetherian. Which Lucari fusion means that they're planning on doing this with the Lucari. Lucari Fusion Conference is presumably them tricking the Lucari into letting them do it. Kumarki's response makes it seem as though the date has already passed. And I'm not entirely sure exactly what the date even is. It's just actually it has a whole bunch of zeros in it. Very suspiciously round number. Yeah. A version of these story tidbits that we get in this mission that don't have the redacted thing would be nice, because I'm kind of guessing what the parts that are redacted are actually supposed to say, and I'm not actually sure about some of them. Anyways, that's enough of the slideshow for now. Dunk. Anyways, so we know. Oh wait, I forgot to add something to the slideshow. Dang it! Crap. I was so careful to build the slideshow, and then I just left something out. Really, really careless of me. Whatever. There, I fixed it. Yeah, so it says here, alternate universe Iconians who fuse with the Borg to forego assimilation, which is something no one else has ever thought of before. They're using technology on the level of the Iconians and deceiving people into letting them get close to start the assimilation process to cooperate them. Oh yeah, by the way, the whole multiple reports of ship malfunctions. That's actually something we see in a lore blog outside the game, where people are finding strange technology embedded in their ships that is having an unfortunate effects on their ships that aren't what they want, shall we say. Oh, yeah, and also there's a thing about the Chimeran specimen, which, yeah, whatever. We don't know anything about that yet. What exactly the Ethereans would mean by a chimera is curious and uncertain. Also, it's still on the scene phase ship, probably, unless it managed to use one of the Iconian gateway thingies to leave the ship. We don't know. Anyways, moving on. So, the Ethereans have started the process of turning the Lucari into more Ethereans. How exactly this works when it's not the quick method we see during this episode, I don't know. It doesn't sound like a good
I
thing.
take it these are the redressed diplomatic quarters Tasim Faye spoke of in the data node record. Right. Perhaps this.
Oh yeah,
is
the
for
whole
a future
diplomatic meeting
that
thing.
hasn't been coordinated yet. Director Hugh did. Oh my. These are almost identical to the furnishings of Lucari diplomatic quarters.
Dun dun dun.
Seems like the Ethereans have replicated our style almost to perfection.
Actually, see, one thing that's noteworthy, though, is that our first contact with the Ethereans actually comes after Kumarki met the Ethereans, and Kumarki seemingly has edited memories of her time on the Etherean ship when she first met them. Yeah, that doesn't sound ominous at all, now does it? Boy. On a lighter, humorous note, this map does weird things when you climb on the furniture. You look at the mini map and it just like blacks out the floors for some reason. Because you're not standing on the floor, you can't see it on the mini map somehow. Weird. It does, however, make this corridor over here that you can't go into a little more interesting to look at. Because like you actually see more of the corridor when you have the partially obscured version of it. Kind of weird. Oh yeah, these cube things. When you look at these things up close, you can't see a pipe sticking out of them. However, if you go out far enough to where it starts to be a low detail object, I think you can see a pipe sticking out the top of it. Kind of weird. But whatever. Enough screwing with that.
This looks like a shortcut.
Oh, also, they have these things that look like Tholian crystals in planters, as if they're plants and not rocks. Very strange. These things, however, do look like plants. The fact that they have double doors on these is also a bit ominous to me because... Oh yeah, that's right. In this cutscene, you can see a close-up of it. What he has for gloves.
We better help them.
It feels very Liberated Borg themed. However, as far as I know, we don't have that as a costume part. Let's see if we can get a really close look at this. See? Like little metal plates stuck to his hands. I don't think we have that costume part, and I want it. Oh, also his boots. I don't recognize these boots. Anyways. Yeah, because like the boots seem to be designed to go with the XB uniform, but I don't remember seeing any boots that are like that when I was tinkering with the uniform.
This isn't good. That's the...
And he's gone now. Time for scanning more stuff.
I'm feeling less guilty about tampering with Etherean technology. Our allies could be in danger. Recalibrating parameters. Almost there. Got it. The fragments should be ready to play.
I will lead you to our lower decks.
She said fragments plural, but there's only really 2 of them.
Watch out!
But yeah, this thing, the first time I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that's an Iconian gateway. Surprise,
What
not.
are you doing?
It worked! Unlike the last recording we watched.
Also, that's
these
an
initial fragments
interesting thing
seem
is
to be-
that
However, my
the
scans
fact that
indicate the
someone
presence of
falsified
corrupted
these
data located
recordings is
inside
an
the memory
interesting
buffers.
thing because it
One of the following
seems to
fragments does not
indicate that
align
Thacine
with the
Fei was
expected data
expecting
intervals
us
of the
to come
recording.
along behind and look at them.
That is to say, one of the recordings of direct, perhaps. Which fragment was artificially added to the data node? Right. The falsified. Well done.
It is a shame you are not staying longer. We have much to discuss. I am curious about the liberated Borg.
Well, the path of a liberated Borg is not easy. Ultimately, it's about giving others a second chance.
I wonder if I know anything about being a liberated Borg.
Giving others a second
Yeah,
life,
yeah, yeah.
like in
That is actually something that would be interesting to put into missions where you
I
talk to
suppose
Hugh.
you
It's
could
like,
count
yeah,
on
hi,
that.
I'm a Borg. Nice to see you.
Helping others overcome their past so they can grow.
Indeed. If you follow me, I will lead you to our lower decks.
You said this is where you found the control Borg boarding party?
Indeed.
I do like these triangle
Do you know
things
how
and
they
their
were able to bypass your shields?
We are uncertain.
depth of field
No
effect.
malfunctions have been reported. No conclusions have been drawn yet.
What are you doing?
This was not supposed to happen.
Get behind me!
Now this is an interesting thing. So notice how they're firing bright yellow phasers.
My word, so that's what actually
They look like
happened.
Discovery
It seems
phaser
like an
pistols.
ethereal- In any case,
Dun dun dun. Now, this is something that is very, very interesting. I'll get back to this later because it has a significant purpose, and I'm not sure what that is. Like, one of the questions I haven't come up with an answer for yet is, what is the Aether? Because the Etherian is not their original name. They named themselves after the fact that they follow the guidance of a something called the Aether.
I believe this calls for the Earth saying,
What exactly the
There goes
Aether
nothing.
is? Good question.
these lower decks sure are darker.
Now, this is a location that the Thacine Fei took you
word.
to, and if you notice it also has the recording device stuck to the wall.
Yes. I mean, I think so. I feel confident that we are on the right track. Before we move on, well, I'm glad that's settled. Exactly. I admit, I'm feeling apprehensive. What we're about to see next could be very telling.
I mean, I didn't really trust the
Integrating the
Etherians to start
environmental
with,
information.
so, you know.
Bypassing encryptions. All done. The fragments are ready
And one
to
thing that's
play.
noteworthy here is that the
Requesting immediate backup.
scanning device Well, you see, I think we're going to meet the Etherean equivalents of those guys. I mean, because it's a whole, like, okay, that's the lower decks of that ship. This ship, though, this is different.
Fret not, Director. We will not let you perish. You shall be conserved and uplifted anew.
Oh yeah, also it's like the whole like circle pattern thing here. That's something that comes up in
Perish?
some of the Iconian stuff.
Unfortunately, which data node fragment was altered?
Critically wounded, no.
The altered fragment by Luca.
Again, it's the whole circle pattern thing here. It just reeks. Actually, you know what? This actually looks like the protomatter field that one of the Lucari things creates, and doesn't look like the Iconian stuff. But you know,
Due to bridge, requesting immediate backup.
There has been a grave misunderstanding.
I can see that.
these glowing rings definitely feel like Iconian stuff, though.
Registering you and your officers as Prime Borg.
Tassine Fey, I really don't want to take down your construct. Get them to stand down.
I understand.
It's a mechanical box. Why don't you just shoot it immediately?
Until we can repair.
Honestly, he's just being polite.
Neutralized? Okay, we might be getting lost in translation, but that's not happening.
Fret not, Director. We will not let you perish.
You know, having these like live cutscene things, like yes, it's technically challenging, but yeah, they did get it at least mostly right.
Be conserved and uplifted anew.
And while it's time consuming, it is at least useful story. One thing about this that puzzles me is what the heck is she doing? See, the first one of Hugh's officers,
That's it.
we actually find him
Director
laying on the
Hugh was
floor where he got shot.
Neutralized by Tassine Fey in an effort to protect him.
Although, why
I suppose.
exactly Hugh left him
And it
behind,
looks
that
like his
doesn't make a
wounded
whole
bridge
lot of
officer
sense.
made it out of the room. Well, if the director and his officers are registering as enemy Borg, Tassine Fey's choice seems some Ethereum. I agree. Admiral Kumar.
And now we're
K
done with the
to
detective
Riscava.
stuff.
We are requesting
All
backup
right.
aboard the Harmony. Director Hugh is down. I repeat.
Right, I have to wait
Director
for her to
Hugh
finish. Stop
is
talking.
Down.
Admiral Kumarke, this is Ensign Varunte reporting in.
I find it interesting that Ensign
We have notified
Verunte
both
is
of your
a
vessels. We're struggling
voiced
to get a lock on
character.
your position. We'll beam someone
Also,
down
why the heck are we
as soon as
talking to an
can.
ensign and not her like first officer
Copy
or
that, Varunte.
comms officer? Why is this an
Let's not waste a
ensign?
moment.
Dum 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 dum. Oh, the audio's skipping. That's weird. So let's take a quick look at this one. These gloves, I think, are actually something we already have. The boots, I'm not so sure about. Those look like the same boots the other guy was wearing. But yeah, it's like her arm piece is weird. It's like it's assembled differently than the ones we actually have as players. I'm not sure about her face thing either. Lucari version of Harry Kim. Yeah, that could be amusing. Yeah.
Control Borg ahead. No match for us.
I didn't even do anything. Kumarki killed them all for me? Really? Okay. Whatever.
Unsurprisingly, what an incredible astrometrics laboratory.
Now, one thing though that
Never
we
imagined
notice
the field
here
used
is
to
that
be
this
galactic
room does not
strategists.
have any of those recording dinguses in it.
Perhaps they are less quick to trust others than I had originally thought.
They're manipulative. They don't really trust you. They pretend to trust you. It's interesting that they have these orbs here and several prisms floating around the bigger prism. Now, Control Borg have some annoying powers. I think what it is that it's kind of like an engineer science tactical thing. It's like regular Borg are the engineer versions or something.
This star chart
You have this
shows an
Control
array of
Borg are the
interlinked
science ones, and
gateways
the other ones
placed
are the
across a
tactical
vast
ones or
number of
something. I
alternate
don't know.
Dimensions. Fascinating. I haven't seen many other species use gateways as a means of transportation.
Yeah, it's like the Iconians, only worse. Oh, hey, Pax, did you see the interesting thing that we learned about the Aetherians and how they work? Because they actually have a special power that we don't see often in the game, if we've ever actually seen an enemy faction use it as a general rule. Anyway, though, yeah, this is something where I find reason to pause for commentary. Okay, now I find the right page. So this is the page we're on. After the great cybernetic onslaught, the Doctrine 2 evolved. Wait, hold on, let's double check that. Yeah, that. Military tactics no longer concerned themselves with redacted, as those who could not see the light were redacted. Yeah, the light is the aether. That's the one thing we know, is that the light is the aether. Anyone who wasn't on board with worshiping the aether was redacted, i.e. assimilated. What the first redacted is, I'm not sure. Military tactics no longer concern themselves with... I'm guessing that this is talking about diplomatic relations. And because like they came here on the pretense of diplomacy so that they could assimilate people. Redacted, target species proved to be If I was going to guess, the redacted target species might be the Chimeran specimen. I'm not sure about that, though. But also, it's like, here we have, the axiom is law, the axiom is life. Though the aether prescribes it, it cannot be denied that our extensive studies of other species has made a significant contribution to our doctrine, and for that, the aether rewards us with ascension. The Tal Shiar in particular served as something we don't know. The Tal Shiar did what? I don't remember the story in Star Trek Online actually having these guys mess with the Tal Shiar. Now, the Tal Shiar working for the Iconians, kind of, sort of, something like that. Was it actually the Iconians, or was it the Aetherians instead of the Iconians? And are the Aetherians actually from the Prime Universe? I don't know. It's an interesting thing to ponder, I suppose. The Aether rewards us with ascension. The Tal Shiar of another universe is a possibility, I suppose. Because one thing that they're talking about here is that their methodology for conquest has the functionality of stealing ideas from other races and stealing Tal'Siar ideas about mind control and forced servitude. Sure, okay. And throwing that together with Borg cybernetics and mind linking technology. Because, like, one thing we find out later is that the Aetherians aren't individuals in the sense that Borg are individuals. That's like the big key reveal that we get way late in the episode, but it's actually a rather important plot point, is that you can't de-assimilate someone who's been turned into an Aetherian because functionally it's the whoever or whatever they were is gone. And it's like their biomass has been repurposed to create a new life form. And it's not assimilation in the sense that the Borg do it. It's more like, well, it's more like necromancy, honestly. It's like a form of cybernetic necromancy where you take corpses and turn them into copies of yourself. Because, like, there's a whole room with all the Grindet Bexes. They're physically identical. And then there's the fact that we shoot Grindet Bexes like 20, 50 or something like that times later on. It's like, yeah. Yes, more like the Alachi. Although the Alachi have a connection to the Tal'Siar. So that might be what they're talking about here. I don't know. That's an interesting thing to ponder. I hadn't thought of the Alachi yet, but yeah. Because, like, there's the cutscene where they actually show one of the control Borg getting turned into an Aetherian who looks identical to Grindet Bex.
The Aetherians fought against the Borg, as well as other civilizations. This retelling is much less grim than I would have imagined.
One thing to remember here is that the actual word decimated means to kill 1/10 of something or destroy 1/10 of something. Which means that if the Borg only destroyed 1/10 of the Milky Way galaxy in their universe, and the Aetherians controlled the rest of it, that's actually not as big of a deal as you would think, perhaps, huh? Yeah, people keep using the word decimated as if it means, you know, like apocalyptic destruction. It doesn't. But yes, like the Aetherians fighting the Borg. The Aetherians come up with the idea of assimilating people to turn them into Aetherians. And wait, hold it. I was supposed to finish the dialogue.
Cybernetic. Perhaps the military texts hold the key to our exit.
Dun dun dun. Here, you just have to put in the name of the guy who wrote the text. Now, here's the thing. What was Yad Namad? Yeah, Yad Namad was the name of what the race that evolved into the Aetherians actually calls their race. It's not the name of a person.
That's it. Well,
through unity, we are strong.
Lead the way. Rogue security system constructs up ahead.
Yeah, they're not rogue. Oops, wrong button.
Let's keep moving.
I have to say their despawn animation is rather nice. Oh, oops, sorry. Anyway, though. I guess I'll have to comment on the cool animations later. So, this is an amusing one because you have the side rooms which...
Look out! Control Borg heading our way! They must be beaming in from other sections of the ship.
Yeah, see, like, those tentacle things are actually combat pets.
Are these
8,000 damage.
Quarters? Oddly enough,
Oy.
it sort of looks familiar.
Yeah, devastating finishing moves. Oi. Yeah, ball lightning will just annihilate those guys. I'm actually not even using all of the stuff I have on... A plasma high-density beam rifle.
Look out! Control Borg heading our way!
Oh, physical augmentation armor. I mean, it's vendor trash or salvage fodder, but yeah, it's loot. Okay, these are something that's interesting where they don't have any apparent purpose, and given what we know about this mission, that makes them ominous. Like, what is this? Like a trash compactor or something? Very strange.
Oh my!
And it's the Hall of Grindet Bexes.
It's a whole wall of Grendat Bexes.
I have to say, the
Why?
subtle references here are actually really
Perhaps
cool.
this is how Etherians honor their fallen.
Are we sure they're even dead, though? That's another thing, is that another thing that this reminds me of is Borg regeneration alcoves. Because like that room we were just in, Kumarki speculates that it was for sleeping quarters, but what we find out later is that those are the stretchers they use for their assimilation process. So whether it's sleeping quarters is
I'm picking up life signs.
debatable.
Admiral, understood.
And then it seems, in any case,
Admiral Clarke.
they did. I'll be right behind you.
Alrighty then. Average. It only brought in 3. This is the first time I've seen it do that. I have, however, seen my bridge officers get stuck going through this door. Don't ask me how that happens. I don't know. It's like they're colliding with invisible geometry.
Seems there are no... Let's try the console at the end of the room.
So yeah,
No
in case any...
Hydroponics pods? Is this a sick bay or a science lab?
Yeah, see what I'm saying about getting stuck. Yay, look, we have pieces of Borg. Except without the, fleshy bits attached to them. Although, why I understand it, that their process for conversion probably doesn't need to have the metal parts attached, so, Although, this is particularly ominous looking. Dun dun dun. Anyway, moving on.
Nothing here. We'll have to keep looking. Rogue security system incoming!
Is
Our
it
console
rogue, or
interaction
is it
must
just
have
mean?
activated them. They're stronger than the last ones!
Yeah, that was one of my bridge officers' shield
were we?
generators. These annoying Aetherian things have the ability to take control of mechanical constructs that you put out on the field. Yeah, this is that thing I mentioned again. Is that through a fusion we are victorious. It's the one. It's the Aetherian axiom that they don't tell to strangers because they don't want to scare the strangers away before they eat
It
them.
seem like a line from Tarsian Fey's axiom. Through harmony we are secure, through unity we are strong. Perhaps the redactions are an added security measure. The words seem to have been superimposed with others that cannot be translated, not unlike a palimpsest. But if this line reads anything like the other two, me neither. Not in any of my interactions with Tarsian Fey.
Dun dun dun. I know. Going extra spoilery on this can completely bypasses that, but one of the things about this is that it's like several of the aspects of this are kind of like spooky preludes to something that comes up later that you don't really understand when you first see them, and then you need to go back and look at them, except you can't physically do that. You need to have the spreadsheet or slideshow to look at them. Anyway, though, this is interesting because the name here is Eliax Rella. I'm not sure that name is... I'm not sure what that name means. Because, like, Granddad Bex is apparently just the name of the security automaton they have doing combat. Because, like, in that one mission, Granddad Bex apparently died fighting the Control Borg.
This is a partial biomedical display of Aetherian energy readings.
Why these take so long, I don't know. Probably so that
These
Kumarki has
readings
time to
indicate
talk.
the presence of enhanced sensory organs, regenerative internal probes.
Yeah, this is something that
And
the
an
people have
energy-based
made an
core.
interesting
It looks
talk
like
about, where it says
Aetherian
70%
anatomical
biological,
composition
30%
is
mechanical, and
70%
the rest of the data is
biological,
missing.
30%
Yeah,
mechanical.
I don't think the missing
and
data is
the
an
rest
additional
of the data
percentage.
is missing. Perhaps there's another console in this room that contains the access code to the door. Heads up! Rogue security system incoming again! Predictable, I suppose. They've upped their offensive, likely due to a perceived increase in threat level aboard the ship. Oh, I'm glad that's over. Let's try another.
Haha, that's not over yet. They hijacked a mortar. Well, see, that's the thing, Pax Federatica. One of the things I mentioned earlier about how the Aetherians don't really have individual minds is that because he's connected to the Aether, his personality lingers in the Aether. All of the Grindat Beck's bodies have the same personality controlling them. Which, yes, that's a different way of saying he knew he wasn't really going to die, but I guess with an explanation of how he knew he wasn't going to die. It's like it's just one of several Grindat Beck's bodies he has. He has
That's it.
more.
The door is open. I'm detecting a lifetime. Cognitive functions are compatible with the cooperative Borg.
No. The fact that this doesn't have your bridge officers is interesting. If you're doing a team play, it also doesn't have your teammates. Also, I'm not carrying a phaser rifle.
What is this place?
Yeah, the security system here. That's actually an interesting question. Who is watching us? Presumably it's Grindat Bex, because we end up fighting Grindat Bex a whole lot after this part.
We better check his vitals.
Now, one thing that I would like to try sometime, because I've tried doing this as a team under using normal methods, but maybe if you were to properly coordinate, you could force it to do the tactical engineering and science options simultaneously.
But he's been... That would do it. Look out! It's the Etherean security system! Scanning the director's pod must have alerted them.
Oh, that was my shield generator. Whatever. It still needed to die. Having it jack your mortar, that is actually kind of annoying.
We can hardly catch a break, can we? Let's activate the pod's dispenser. Excellent. The cordrazine should kick in shortly.
Right. Yes, faking the a sacrifice. Yeah, of course. But what I was saying though is that his method of faking the sacrifice was that what body that was at the center of that massive explosion was a body that he treated as disposable because his mind was already controlling multiple other bodies.
It looks like get excellent. The choice is yours.
Dun dun dun. Tactical engineering and science.
Let's give it a try.
Oh, tactical is this one over here.
That's it. We can open the pod.
And now we're frozen. No.
Director Hugh.
That is actually an interesting thing, is that it does the whole like frozen as part of a cutscene thing when you're not
They're
actually in the
safe.
cutscene yet.
They're on the Riscava. We beamed them out, but we've yet to find Tassim
Forget
Faye.
Faye. We need to get off this ship. I'm worried about Tassim Faye too.
Oh yeah,
But not
this
the way you
scene.
are. The Ethereans? They've been lying to us.
This is a room we didn't get to.
Here.
We've seen similar rooms, but not that one.
It's the missing data from the Etherean lab.
Through harmony.
I'm genuinely not sure exactly how much they are actually
These-
cooperating with them,
These bios.
or how much they're controlling them.
We are strong.
I don't understand. They're consistent with...
Borg. Yes. But also,
Through fusion, we are victorious.
Yeah. Bordicus said in an interview that this particular scene was something that they had to build new tech into the game to make work.
look out! Getting away.
Yeah, whatever the heck
What
that was.
A problem for later.
It looked kind of
Escape
like a
has triggered some kind of red
cybernetic
alert.
version
Shields are up.
of a
There goes our plan of beaming out.
what the Klingon demons called
There
again?
might be another way.
Ficleary. Looked kind of like a cybernetic Ficleary.
Not the way I'd usually meet a fellow liberated Borg of your distinction.
Oh, hey, he
And
actually
for the
does
first time, no
have
less.
a
But I suppose this is somewhat of
special
unique
line for
situation.
beating a liberated
I'll
Borg.
save the details of my gratitude for later.
That is cool.
Needless to say,
I didn't know that.
I owe you
I love
one.
that.
As for our escape plan, the raised shields do pose a problem. However, during
Right. The Harmony's wall structures act as data nodes that store recordings of past events.
your creativity is commendable. Correct. This nanoprobe retrieves key data that is considered either useful or harmful.
Yeah, mutant
In this
hurt.
case,
That's another
included
thing
the
that's kind of
hybrid
reminds
Borg
me
and
of.
Iconian biological
Although the
composition of
Fek'liri are
Ethereans, which the probe classified as potentially harmful.
bioengineered
However,
after the
That's not all.
um
The nanoprobe also detected
founders
massive
decided
energy
that they
spikes
didn't want to
coming
use the
from a room
Hercus
on
foot
this
soldiers
level,
anymore.
up ahead.
I don't know.
The energy type
They-
is consistent.
I'm genuinely not
with the
sure
one
how
in
much
which
they're
they could be
similar
Iconian.
to each other.
Hard to say. Your guess is as good as well as a liberated Borg, or XB as we used to call ourselves. You and I both.
This is
know
very
there's always
much
hope
like that
that any
cutscene
civilization or
you
individual
see on
might be
New
open to
Romulus, where
If they are
the
anything like
cutscene
Borg,
is
or
worded
ancient
slightly
Iconians we know of,
differently if
there
you're
might be a
a
way to help them.
Romulan
But this isn't a
Republic
hypothesis I'll
character.
live to test out if we don't get moving. That's a lesson I learned the hard way on board the artifact. So let's table this talk for a safer. Let's get out of here before more pots explode.
Wait, but see, that's an interesting question. It's like, why is he worried about what comes out of the other pods? Wouldn't they be friendly? Then again, he knows stuff about the pods that I don't. So, so many questions that I don't have answers to. Like, seriously, what the heck is this room? Is this where they store the people that they aren't going to
The Harmony's
repurpose yet?
defenses have locked the path behind us. The only way on. Call me Hugh. I've spent far
Oh,
too
hey,
many
it actually
Stargates
had
as
a thing here,
Here
a
it
pop-up.
is.
Victory Infusion.
What are those?
assimilation pods. Heads up. We've got company.
Partially assimilated thingies.
Fighting them feels wrong. I thought we were allies.
Typically, I recommend setting phasers to stun, but that's a dance with assimilation I'd rather avoid, Admiral. Another hostile wave of Ethereans incoming.
Yeah, they do a thing where they teleport you away if you're in melee range. Oh, and those green floaty things are
done.
flaily bubbles, much like the shadow circles that the Iconians have.
All right, let's go.
Oh, we're done now. Okay, then. Oh, me.
My nanoprobe is detecting elevated levels of gamma radiation nearby.
Dun dun dun. Come here, Granddad Bex.
The Harmony's core.
Now, this, is this actually the physical manifestation of the light of the Aether? Maybe.
Granddad Bex.
And this version of Granddad Bex has all 6 eyes open. Notably, they have the different colors to them, which makes me wonder if some of them are actually cybernetic eyes.
The Ethereans have lowered some sort of fractal containment fields blocking our path.
Leave it to me. I've become quite the expert on Etherean security systems.
Understood. We'll keep the Ethereans at bay in the meantime.
Resist and you shall crumble.
Oh yeah,
Accept,
well, one fun
and you
thing
shall
that
ascend.
Bordicus mentioned in one of Kale's
Another one?
streams
This
was
influx
that
in
the more times you beat up Granddad Bex in this thing here, the faster the
How's it looking, Admiral?
invisible timer counts down.
Almost there.
Incredible.
Yeah, the ones on the
Collaboration
sides
is
are
fruitful.
untargetable, which is
Why
annoying.
such discord in the face of harmony?
What? Not done
He is-
kicking his ass yet.
Teleporting away.
Oh,
our
right.
chance.
We have to
Let's
have
get out of here.
one of them leave and not get
I
pounded.
hope you're right about that gateway technology.
Time for more
A
beatings.
magnetic containment field protecting a cube-shaped reactor core.
Is it a
Looks
reactor?
familiar, right? If only my tour had started in this room.
It's quite the display for a reactor core.
Wait,
It
what is
must
he
be
saying? It
important
looks
to them.
familiar. What does he think it looks like? The core of a Borg ship? Or the core of an Iconian ship? I don't know.
Trapped again. It did seem too easy.
You're right, Hugh. These Grandat Bexes are beaming in with no end in sight.
There must be another way to defeat them.
I have a plan, but it's risky.
I'm all ears.
If we lower its containment field, we could fire at the reactor core. to initiate a
One of my bridge officers used the
What
Ophidian
about the
cane
gamma
to
radiation
immobilize
leaking
him.
into the room
Nice.
And the potential loss of life aboard the ship.
I'm willing to bet that putting the core at risk will initiate an emergency power transfer protocol. This would divert all main energy back to the core's containment field, interrupting Etherian transporters.
And likely divert power from the fractal containment fields too. A hell of a plan, Admiral.
And we'd have to backtrack into the room to carry it out.
A risk worth taking. Let's do it.
I'll get to work on this fractal containment field. The field has been lowered.
I guess we're done here. Moving on.
Let's act quickly. The Etherians aren't messing around.
I'm on it. Cover me. Reconfiguring security parameters.
An unstable construct. What? Are those like designed to explode or something? Okay, Hugh actually did something to those to make them go
How
unconscious.
much longer, Admiral?
Interesting.
10 seconds.
You've got 5.
Done. The magnetic containment field has been lowered. Target the reactor core. Radiation levels are rising. We need to leave.
Let's go.
Grindet Bex is like,
The
no,
control
I have
panel
to
is
stop the reactor
malfunctioning.
core from
Cover
exploding.
me. I just need a couple of seconds.
If it's really a reactor.
Your second life awaits you, Hugh.
There. It's open.
I don't think anyone
Rescue.
but Hugh heard that.
There's something I need to do.
Radiation levels are too high.
Hey, it actually has
We
all my
need
bridge
to
officers in this
leave.
scene.
Emergency systems might slow
Using
this
standard
section.
issue Starfleet phaser
This will be our
rifles,
last
which none of
chance.
them uses.
I know. That's why
Also,
you should go ahead.
that vest he's wearing on the
Can't
XB
save
outfit,
him,
we
you.
don't have that, and I want it.
I know, but if I can get through. for even
Also,
just a
his
second,
cybernetics that he has stuck
worth
to
a
his
shot.
face are different than any of the other ones we
I
have.
have to try.
Damn.
Wondering if they're going to give us like a low
Can't
buy
leave him behind.
XB costume that's the
Granddad
version
Bex,
that
that's your name, right?
Hugh has.
Where's Tessine Faye?
Because he also has
We are
2 full
Grandat
sleeves.
Bex. We are Tessine Faye. We are all at once, and soon you shall be.
Yeah,
too.
see, this is the thing I was talking
I'd
about
rather
earlier.
die than
It's
be
like the
a slave.
Aetherians don't have a
It
concept
is
of
the only
individuality.
way. Uprisers shall be
It's like a
quelled.
true hive
Deniers
mind where
shall
they
be
just
fused.
think as a single
You must join us.
entity.
You must ascend.
Listen,
I guess
Doesn't
their
have
idea
to
of
be like
ascension
this.
is becoming
My
part of the
people have
hive
the
mind.
means to restore your freedom.
You misunderstand. We are free. We have long been freed from the shackles of Iconian.
Okay, that's another thing,
and
so
we have
someone
taken
pointed out
what
to me.
serves us best from the Borg. We are evolved.
Freed from
See,
the
the trouble
shackles
is,
of
I think you
Iconian
think
rigor.
you're free, but you're not.
Whatever the
Everything
Aetherians
you're saying
are
right
used
now,
to be a
it sounds an
servant
awful
of the
lot like the collective I
Iconians.
used to be a part of. You
A lot of
think you don't
people
have a
I've
choice.
seen speculate
If you
on
ask
this
me,
said they thought
just
that they
forgotten
were
what to choose.
You are
heralds.
mistaken.
Heralds
We do
who
not
had
choose the ether.
evolved
It chooses
and decided
us.
that they
We
no
follow
longer
its
wished to
path.
serve the Iconians.
A wise man once
The whole
told me,
question here, though, is like,
even when
okay,
you
if
think you don't
that's
have a
what
choice,
these are, what the
there
heck is the
always is one.
Aether?
I might not be able to help you now, but maybe I'll be able to help you one day. No
What the
one is beyond.
What the heck is the Aether if these guys are Iconian heralds who upgraded themselves with technology?
We need to leave now.
I'm sorry.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe that the whole like Aether thing is something that came about as a result
me.
of them doing their whole like assimilation dingacy thing. Can't go back. Oh well.
Incredible. And
Admiral Kumar,
you are
good idea.
the Riscar. Right.
Time for the
I'll get
real fun to
started on the
begin.
gateway.
Oh yeah, also, this is, as far as I can tell, currently the best mission in the game for getting captain kills. Every single one of those Grindet Bexes I just beat the crap out of. Okay,
Heads up.
not
More
necessarily
hostile
every
Aetherians
one of them, I
incoming.
suppose, but whatever. The majority of them count as captains.
Through harmony, we are secure. Through unity, we are strong.
If I'd had a captain kill endeavor, I'd probably gotten like 10 or 20.
Through fusion, we are victorious.
The gateway is active.
I have to say, their whole gimmick with the energy beams kind of screws up
Nicely
their
done,
own
Admiral Kumarke.
offense with those.
No time to waste. Let's see if this gateway takes us to our ships as intended.
Yeah, that's one of
See
the
you on
things
the other
that I
side.
was thinking is that it's a different version of Unimatrix Zero that was created by some kind of subconscious of the heralds that ascended. But that's just a guess. Where did my bridge officers go? Did have my bridge officers in this room, right? Okay, there's the... Maybe I didn't have my bridge officers in the fight. Huh. That would explain why it was so annoyingly hard. But yes, like the idea that the Aether... Oh, yeah. Okay. Back to the slideshow. I just remembered one of the things that was particularly interesting. See, it seems as if the Aether came about as a side effect of their whole, like, ascension thingy, and the ascension thingy came after turning themselves part Borg. I don't know. But yeah, it's like the idea that the Aether is the Herald version of Unimatrix Zero is interesting.
Loud and clear.
Friends, to protect you from your
Remnants
own
of our
assumptions,
Iconian
of
heritage.
course.
Yeah, okay.
For your own benefit, on your path to a greater truth. It does not have to be. Today's events
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these dialogue choices don't actually.
unforeseen adversity. We are now, was it not? Our mistake.
There must be a diplomatic way forward.
No,
Tossing
no, there
Faye.
isn't.
Your rejection we learned from
Your ship is compromised, Sassine Faye. Stand down.
Fun fact, as far as I can tell, the whole repair thing here is actually just counting down the ships you kill.
You are no friend to me. Friends do not force others to join the collective.
Yeah, I'm staying out of that DPS pile. I spent enough time using tricobalt devices in this game to know better than to sit on top of your own tricobalt devices. And here, of course, we have the Yasutake, which until now was Sir not appearing in this movie. Does make me wonder a few things, you know.
Looks like the Ethereans also called for backup.
Of course they did. They would be stupid not to, after as many of them as I've crushed mercilessly.
Harmony has severed our comms link.
Damn it. Hull integrity below 75%. Core shield failing. Rear shield failing. Right shield failing.
I have to say that the look of the Etherean battleships, I could totally see them giving us that as a playable ship later.
Brace yourself.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, the de-escalator. That's the thing. The de-escalators will give you some sort of a massive power drain. It's a neat gimmick, honestly. It's like it's a frigate-sized ship that will cripple you if you don't kill it before you kill the main ship.
I thought only the Mirror Borg used those.
Let her go. This is just the beginning.
Control Borg incoming.
Yeah, we don't actually know who came up with the reality vortex technology.
Tossing Faith, let them through a reality vortex.
So she didn't need the cooperative help after.
Serious ploy all along. Control Borg spilling into our universe as a complication and a cover-up. Another wave of Control Borg incoming.
Our records suggest getting others to do their dirty work.
Yeah, I just hit myself with my own explosion.
Vortices are closing. We could use some more backup on our side.
Yeah, no, we don't really need more
I may
backup.
recall. Any moment now.
Rear shield failing. Right shield failing. Left shield failing.
Your perseverance reminds me of a friend of mine. Never took no for an answer.
I have to say, I love how they have the multiple sizes and shapes of cooperative ships now. Some of them actually just look like regular Borg probes, although slightly differently
Backup
shaped.
arriving just in time never hurts. However, Tassine Faye is still out there somewhere, and what she said about the galaxy turning against itself may be true. Reports of Borg incursions
Are actually very cool.
with an unusual increase in infighting.
Will we get them as playable vessels? Maybe. Because, like, the cooperative is... the cooperative is ostensibly part of the Alliance, so cooperative vessels that aren't used by the regular Borg are something that we could end up with as a, I don't know, like maybe like a summer event ship or a winter event ship, maybe. Yeah, it's like this current plot line involves Borg from at least 3 different universes, maybe 4. I'm not entirely sure. It gets fuzzy because they don't fully explain it.
Right. We may well and truly be on the precipice of a new era. As Tassine Faye said, one of a multiversal war.
Yeah, Tassine Faye comes from a different universe and brought problems from her universe with her because she's actually here to conquer our universe. Shocker! No, wait, no, it's not. Anyways, though.
For now, let's return to safety and regather our strength. More Ethereans could arrive unannounced at any moment.
Yeah. This sounds like a great time to go back and file a report with
I wanted to
Base
thank
Command.
you for coming to my aid. There was a time in which liberated Borg might have failed to help each other.
Ooh, this dialogue is unique to Liberated Borg too. I like that.
I'm touched to see this is no longer the case. We stand tall, but also united, even under different banners. This means a great deal to the cooperative.
Yeah, this is definitely not the dialogue option you get if it's not otherwise.
Today was eventful to see. Yes, the Tholians never really took to the
Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't actually get to all of the slides in my slideshow. Oh yeah, time to get to the other slide. This thing. That lore blog I was talking about earlier was talking about how the Lucari and, of course, you know, Kumarki personally, because one of the ships affected by it was her ship, had seen this weird stuff that mysteriously appeared embedded in their ships for no readily apparent reason, and they noticed it was there because of it doing what just happened to us now. On certain occasions, it would cause the ship's warp field to collapse. That's it. That's all it did. It's just one of those things that's like, that sounds incredibly dangerous. What the hell is this? And how is it able to do that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's one of those inside my ship somewhere now. Yeah, this is definitely a reference to that, because she talks about how this fail to warp out thing has happened before. I just heard the music skipping. That's annoying. Anyways. And here's the close of mission text, which I'm not actually going to...
It appears they are alternate universe Iconians, who fused with the Borg through assimilation.
Oh yeah, here it is. Multiple reports of cooperative ship malfunctions.
Their advanced Iconian technology...
Because they have those things stuck in their ships that they need to figure out how to get rid of.
Multiple reports of cooperative ship malfunctions after first contact with the Aetherians have now surfaced. Lastly, during my time aboard the Harmony, I overheard
Living
the
construct. Oh.
I activated my translator just in time to hear her call it the Chimeran specimen.
That's an interesting question. I'm genuinely not sure what they would do with that. Huh. Alrighty then. Well, yeah, it's a very interesting thing to ponder, because like how many different things are they actually tying into this? I don't know. There's several different things it might be. Alrighty then. Well, I'm going to get off now because it's getting late, and I have accomplished what I set out to do. Going way, way, way deep in speculation on this mission. And yeah, these guys being ascended heralds who have their own version of a cooperative that's a collective consciousness, in a sense that the Borg don't have a collective consciousness. Yeah. Interesting, to say the least. Makes him a very interesting enemy to fight, because, you know, what one of them knows, all of them know, apparently? Alright, well, I'm going to find somebody to raid. Oh, hey, Wolf Grey is on. Alrighty, well, see you guys later. Have fun.